My dear friends, in this world of restless hearts and insatiable desires, we often chase after love and abundance as though they were shadows slipping just beyond our grasp. But love is not a chase, it is a response. And abundance is not a possession, it is a state of soul. The world teaches us to believe in ourselves, but I tell you, belief alone is not enough. It must be belief rightly placed, belief grounded in eternal truths. And so today I give you 4 beliefs, pillars of the soul, that if embraced will draw not only love, but also a fountain of abundance that no earthly drought can dry. You are not a mistake of biology nor a wandering speck in a vast, indifferent universe. You are rather the intentional thought of God's, spoken into existence with purpose and care. Before the stars were flung into the sky, before the oceans whispered their first tides, you were already known. In the mind of God, you were conceived, not as a number, not as a statistic, but as a soul, unrepeatable and irreplaceable. The tragedy of our time is not that people aim too high and fail, but that they aim too low and succeed. We have allowed the world to define our worth in terms of achievement, wealth, attractiveness, or applause. And so, we are left scrambling for identity in the approval of others, in social media numbers, or in temporary successes that crumble with the passing of time. But hear me now, your worth does not fluctuate with your failures. It does not rise and fall with the mood of the crowd. Your worth is anchored in something eternal. It is anchored in the very heart of God. You were not made for mediocrity. You were made for magnificence, not the kind that shouts from platforms, but the kind that radiates from a soul rooted in divine truth. When Christ stretched his arms on the cross, he did not do it for the masses in abstraction. He did it for you by name. He saw your loneliness. He saw your sins. He saw the times you doubt your own value. And still, he gave everything. Why? Because you are worth everything to him. And when you truly believe this, when this truth sinks from your intellect into your bones, you no longer beg for crumbs of affection or chase validation in the wrong places. You begin to live with dignity. Not pride, but sacred dignity. You start to treat your life as a temple, not a rental. You begin to attract love, not because you need it, but because you radiate it. You become a beacon to others who are still lost in the fog of self-doubt. The world may forget you, it may overlook you, but God never does. And that one truth, if believed with your whole heart, is enough to transform not only how you see yourself, but how the world responds to you. You do not need to earn your worth. You only need to remember it. There is a quiet temptation that creeps into the human heart after pain, the temptation to stop believing in people, to assume the worst, to close the door on trust and bolt it shut with bitter experience. We say to ourselves, people only care when it benefits them. Or I've been hurt too many times to risk believing again. And yet, that very conclusion, though it feels like protection, is actually a prison. For the heart that no longer believes in the goodness of others begins to wither, not because others are unworthy, but because it has forgotten how to hope. The truth is, every person you meet carries a great mystery within them. Behind the eyes of the cashier, the stranger on the bus, the one who wronged you, and even the one who loves you poorly, there is a soul made in the image of God. Sometimes that image is buried beneath layers of pain, selfishness, or fear. But it is there, always. To believe in the goodness of others is not to be blind to their flaws. It is to see beyond the brokenness to the sacred potential beneath. It is to say, though you may not be perfect, you are still worthy of grace. It is to understand that hurt people, and to respond not with revenge, but with a kind of holy curiosity. What has this person endured to behave this way, and how might I be part of their healing? The world tells us to be skeptical, to protect ourselves by expecting nothing from anyone, but there is no strength in suspicion. There is only isolation. True strength is found in the soul that continues to love, continues to trust, not foolishly, not without discernment, but with a deep conviction that good still lives in people, even when it's hidden by their wounds. This belief changes how we interact with everyone. Instead of seeing competition, we see collaboration. Instead of assuming the worst, we offer the benefit of the doubt. And in doing so, we draw out the goodness in others, because nothing awakens virtue in a soul like being seen with hope. When you treat someone as though they are better than their past, better than their worst mistake, you speak to the best part of them, and often that part begins to rise. That is the miracle of believing in others. It doesn't just reveal their goodness, it helps create it. But more than this, such belief frees you. It frees your heart from the heaviness of cynicism. It liberates you from the poison of suspicion. And it opens the doors of your life to connection, intimacy, friendship, and joy. The saints believed in the goodness of others, not because they were naive, but because they saw with spiritual eyes. And if you would attract love and abundance into your life, you must see with those eyes too. For when you believe in others, not as they are, but as they could be, you become a channel through which grace flows, and the world around you begins to change. The universe, like the soul, operates on invisible laws, laws not written in ink, but etched into the very structure of reality. One such law, ancient and eternal, is the law of sowing and reaping. It is not merely an agricultural principle. It is a spiritual truth that governs every act, every word, every intention of the human heart. What you plant, you will harvest, not immediately, perhaps not even visibly at first, but inevitably. And yet, how many souls abandon their gardens before the harvest? How many acts of kindness are cut off by impatience? How many prayers are silenced because the answer did not come quickly? We live in an age of immediacy, instant food, instant news, instant validation. And so we forget that some of the richest fruit takes time to ripen. The oak does not grow in a day, neither does virtue, neither does abundance. When you speak words of encouragement, when you forgive an offense, when you offer a gesture of mercy, these things may feel small, even unnoticed, but they are seeds. And the law of sowing and reaping tells us that no seed sown in love is ever wasted. Some may sprout in days, others in decades, but all will bear fruit in due season, if not uprooted by despair. There is a reason God gave us the image of a garden. A garden demands faith. The gardener buries the seed beneath the soil, unseen, and walks away believing, not in what he sees, but in what will come. So too must you believe that every noble choice you make, every silent act of service, every sacrifice unseen by the world is producing a harvest, perhaps not where you expected, perhaps not when you desired. But surely, certainly, this law also carries with it a sober reminder that we cannot plant weeds and expect roses. We cannot sow division and reap peace. We cannot speak curses and expect blessings to return. The quality of your life tomorrow will be shaped by the seeds you plant today. Your relationships, your opportunities, your inner peace, they are not accidents, they are gardens, and you are the sower. But here is the wonder, you are not alone in the field. The Spirit of God waters what you plant in faith. He multiplies what you give, even if you offer only loaves and fishes. The law of sowing and reaping is not mechanical. It is miraculous. For when you sow with a heart open to heaven, God adds His increase. He takes your limited seed and brings forth an unlimited harvest. Therefore, do not grow weary in doing good. Do not withhold generosity because others have not returned it. Do not stop praying because the answer is delayed. Keep sowing. sowing with your time, your love, your gifts, your forgiveness. For the harvest is coming, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And when it does, you will look back and see that abundance was not something you stumbled upon. It was something you planted all along. There is a profound peace that comes to the soul when it surrenders the restless striving to a God who provides, not as a distant deity watching from afar, but as a Father intimately involved in every detail of your life. Too often, we burden ourselves with anxiety about the future, clutching tightly to what we have, fearing loss, fearing scarcity, fearing the unknown. But this fear betrays a misunderstanding of God's providence, a providence that is tender, personal, and unfailing. Consider the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap, yet they are fed. Consider the lilies of the field. They neither toil nor spin, yet they are clothed in a splendor that surpasses the richest king. If God cares so exquisitely for such small creatures and simple flowers, how much more does He care for you, made in His very image? You are of far greater value than sparrows and lilies, and yet He invites you to cast your cares upon Him, because He cares for you. This belief is not an escape from responsibility. It is an invitation to trust. Trust that the God who flung the stars into space and set the planets on their courses is not indifferent to the details of your daily bread. Trust that He who knows the number of hairs on your head knows your deepest needs before you speak them. To believe in a God who provides is to live in a state of sacred confidence, a confidence that transforms worry into worship and fear into faith. When you truly embrace this belief, you begin to see provision in places where the world sees lack. Doors open where walls once stood. Opportunities arise when all seemed lost. Miracles happen in the mundane, the unexpected gift, the timely word, the gentle hand that steadies you in the storm. Yet this provision is not always what we expect. Sometimes God provides not what we desire, but what we truly need. Sometimes He withholds to teach us reliance. Sometimes He tests our faith by inviting us to give generously when resources are thin, trusting that He will multiply the little we offer. This is the paradox of divine providence. It calls us to both action and surrender, to work diligently and to rest peacefully, to plan wisely and to pray humbly, to invest what we have and to release it with open hands. In this holy dance, abundance flows, not from human striving alone, but from the gracious outpouring of a loving God. So, do not be consumed by worry or tempted to seize control out of fear. Instead, look up. Fix your eyes on the one who feeds the sparrow, who clothes the lily, who holds you in the palm of His hand. Trust that His provision is not a matter of scarcity, but of overflowing generosity. And in this trust, you will find a freedom that no wealth can buy, a freedom that invites you to live fully, love deeply, and give freely, knowing that the God who provides will never fail you. To attract love and unlimited abundance into your life, it begins first within your own heart and mind. Know deeply, beyond mere words or fleeting feelings, that your worth is not something to be earned or measured by external achievements or the approval of others. Your true value comes from being created in the image of God, a unique masterpiece fashioned with intention and love. When you live rooted in this truth, you no longer seek love out of desperation or scarcity, but you radiate a confident, quiet dignity that draws others to you naturally. Believing in the goodness of others is equally essential. It requires a courageous hope that chooses to see beyond faults and failures, to look past the surface and recognize the divine spark within each person. This belief is not naive, it is a deliberate act of grace. When you assume the best in people, When you extend trust rather than suspicion, you create a space where authentic connection and healing can flourish, not just in others, but within yourself as well. Planting seeds of kindness, generosity, and forgiveness is a sacred work. It demands patience and faith, for the fruits of these actions are not always immediate or obvious. But the law of sowing and reaping is certain. What you give with a pure heart will return to you in ways beyond your imagining. Every small act of love contributes to a harvest of abundance, both in your life and in the lives of those around you. Living with open hands, willing to give, to share, to let go of control, is a profound step toward receiving. It is the paradox that when you release your grip on what you think you need to hold tightly, you make room for something far greater. Open hands speak of trust, humility, and readiness to receive blessings that may come in unexpected forms. Finally, anchor your soul not in what you possess, but in who possesses you. Material wealth, achievements, and accolades are transient. They can be lost or taken away. But when your identity is secured in the love and providence of God, you have a foundation that nothing can shake. This assurance brings peace amid uncertainty and joy in every circumstance, making your life a beacon of love and abundance for others to follow. Embrace these truths fully, and you will not only attract love and abundance, but become a source of them, a living testament to the power of faith, hope, and divine grace. And so I leave you with this final thought. Do not chase abundance, become abundance. Do not chase love, be love. For it is not what you have that attracts the world, but who you are when you believe in something greater. May your heart be full, your spirit radiant, and your life a testament to the power of believing. God love you.